duration within 0.1 second. Then you have to think about right atrial hypertrophy. Where right atrial hypertrophy happens? In pulmonary arterial hypertension. That's what you see in P wave. Next, P wave is there are some other situation that sometimes you can't find a underline a P wave in ECG in the second lead. So if you can't underline P wave in second standard lead, just take V1 lead. There could be positive or negative P wave. And when you talk about P wave, what is it indicates? It is the atrial contraction. Atria getting contraction. It means what? SA node sends signal to AV node, and after contraction, the atrial myocardium is getting contracted. That is what indicated by P wave. Simple, no? But in some arrhythmias, like atrial flutter, in atrial fibrillation, there are impulses coming from everywhere. So properly, atria cannot contract. In the ECG, in the ECG, you could see in atrial flutter, in a flutter, you could see like this PP, and again on one QRS complex, PP QRS complex. The A flutter is like this. So you could count this 3 P waves here, 3 P waves QRS complex, again 3 P waves QRS complex. And what is happening in a fibrillation is atrial fibrillation is it is like this. You cannot count these P waves. So what is more dangerous? Afibrillation more dangerous. This is a flutter. In flutter, you could count P waves. Like there's a 2 to 3 P waves next QRS complex. 2 to 3 P waves QRS complex. But in a fibrillation, you can't count P wave. We call these P waves F wave, F wave, F wave. So those are the things. So we talked about P-MITRALE. What is P-MITRALE? How to identify P-MITRALE? Next, P-PULMONALE. What is P-PULMONALE? What indicates by P-PULMONALE? Next, we saw what is a flutter, what is a fibrillation. What is the difference between a flutter and a fibrillation? Flutter, you can count F waves. I mean, after these 2 to 3 P waves, you cannot say this is P wave. No, this is F wave. Like in atrial flutter, you could say it's P wave. It's okay. So 2 to 3 P waves after QRS complex. This is flutter. You could count. Basically, you could count in flutter, but in AFib, you cannot count. Just like a screw shape appearance, we call these waves F waves. So it is AFib. So as you know, when you see a flutter and a fibrillation, you have to immediately intervention because the main reason for death in ischemic heart disease is not due to problem itself, but due to arrhythmias and cardiac arrest. Next is PQ interval. Now we know everything about P wave. Next, the PQ interval. What is PQ interval? It is the beginning of atrial depolarization to ventricular depolarization. It means this is the P, this is the QRS complex, this is the T. This is the beginning of P, this is the P wave, this is the QRS complex, and this is the PQ interval that we are gonna talk. Beginning of the P to beginning of the Q wave. This is the PQ interval. What is the duration of the PQ interval? It is 0.12 to 0.2 second. 0.12 to 0.2 second. If it is PQ is more than 0.2, we call this PQ is prolonged. If it is less than 0.12, it is short. So, why this is PQ interval is very important in ECG in clinically? Because we could find blocks. Which blocks? Atrioventricular blocks. There are three degree of blocks. First one is AV block first degree. Next, the AV block second degree. Second degree divides into Mobitz 1 and Mobitz 2, and there is AV block third degree. First, what is the criteria of AV block first degree? Criteria. So you see, first you take the ECG and you see what you say. You see P wave. Okay, P wave is normal. Next, you see what is PQ interval. So what you have to see. So AV block first degree, if it is there, AV block first degree, if it is there, PQ is prolonged. It means it's more than 0.2 second. PQ, it should be between 0.12 to 0.2. No, now the PQ is prolonged. It is more than 0.2, and it is constant. It is, this means this is a P. This is the QRS complex next to T. So this is the PQ length. No, we take PQ length as X. Next again P present, QRS complex T. This is one is also X. It doesn't change. The duration doesn't increase or decrease. It is constant duration. And there is a regular RR interval. Regular RR interval. So tomorrow you see a ECG. PQ is more than 0.2 second and it is constant and there is regular RR interval. What is that? It is AV block first degree. Simple. Next, the second degree. What is the criteria for second degree AV block? First, it is irregular rhythm. Next, between two P waves, one QRS is absent. Between two P waves, one QRS is absent. It means it's like this: P, P, QRS, T, P, P, QRS, T. See, this is a P wave, this is a P wave, and here is a QRS complex. So between two P waves, no QRS. Normally what is happening? P QRS T. Next again P QRS T. What is now happening? There's P P next QRS next T. So between two P waves, you could see there's no QRS complex. And what is Mobitz 1 and Mobitz 2? In Mobitz 1, PQ is prolongating. It means in the PQ interval, first you will get 0.21, next 0.22, next 0.25. What is the happening into PQ interval? It's P QRS T. Again P QRS T. This is prolonged than X. If it is X, this is 2X. It has increased. Next, the Mobitz 2. What happened in Mobitz 2 is there is a prolonged PQ interval but is constant. It means P QRS T, P QRS T. This is also X, this is also X.